All right, Fresh. Let's go to Kansas City. The Cincinnati Bengals upsetted the Buffalo Bills last weekend, and they will travel to Kansas City. This right now, it's a pick'em game. Over under is set at 47 points here. We're getting a nice little rematch from last year. I love it here. Talk to me, Bengals, Chiefs. What you got?
Well, I think first off, everyone in the world knows it's all about Mahomes' leg. But if you saw in the game, in that first drive when he got dinged up and him staying in, I was actually kind of mad about it. Like, the guy needs to get up. They need to check him out. Get him on the sideline, test his leg because he did not look healthy. He did not look right. He was trying to, overcompensate. At halftime, they got him checked out, did the X-ray, and they probably gave him some, pain pills of some sort because he looked a little more comfortable in the second half. But he wasn't the same. He's not going to be running around on his own, making all the spectacular plays with his leg. He's going to be very contained in the pocket, which does minimize his effectiveness. And that's going to be a big play in this game because his gift is his mobility. His gift is his creativity where he can get on the edge, do the underhand throws, the sidearm throws, whatever. Not being contained in the pocket, even though he has great numbers in the pocket, that does limit his overall impact on the football game. So watching that and how that game plays out, but yes, he is going to be medicated to keep that leg tolerable for him to play on, but he's not going to be the same kind of guy. And that really comes down to how can Pacheco and how can Jerick McKinnon run the football? How much does Travis Kelce be involved? Obviously, getting 14 receptions versus the Jaguars, he was the focal point of the offense. But where they keep the down and distance and how they manage the offense to factor in that, that's going to be the biggest key. Henny obviously is a very valuable backup. I'm sure he's going to get all the reps of this week to be ready. But how will that play out? Because this Bengals defense has been playing fantastic lately, and they're going to get after the quarterback. They are not going to be shy to hit Patrick Mahomes and test that, a mobility early on. Mahomes is still a very great quarterback. They have players, but where will that impact come into play? The other side, there's a whole thing going on about like going to Burrowhead instead of Arrowhead. Well, yes, the Bengals have beaten Mahomes and the Chiefs 3 times, but only once in Kansas City. So it's not like he doesn't own the stadium. He only played there once and beat them last year in a comeback effort in the title game, where we are here. So the whole Burrowhead thing, I don't really get yet because it's only been one game. It's not like they won all three there in Kansas City. But the confidence level that the Bengals have, where Burrow knows Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, Hayden Hurst at tight end, Mixon, Samaje Perine, he knows he can just touch it out there. A guy wearing the orange helmet with the black, stripes is going to bring it down. They're going to make plays. He has that cool, calm effect with them, and the guys feed off of that, and it's contagious. The most impressive thing was how that offensive line last week. We had even talked about it. How where are they going to find the guys? They had 3 starters out. How are they going to protect them? They did an amazing job. Very quick, short passes. They did very short drops. They didn't have the 6, 7, 8, step drops. It was 2, boom, out. How is Kansas City going to offset that this week? Are they going to find a little more quick blitz? Are they going to play more zone coverage and sort of let him sit back there and have him sit back for a while and let the initial 3 or 4 get home just due to coverage sacks? They're going to see a lot more twists coming that way because they've already got to look at what the Bengals did to the Buffalo Bills. Another reason why they were so successful is they got after the Bills early. They put a shock and awe mentality on them. They had them caught. I think the Bills thought the game would be a slow play out. We'll use the weather to our advantage. And eventually, because we have enough energy, enough stamina, and a reason to play for DeMar Hamlin in the building, we'll get the win late. The Bengals took all that hope, all that momentum right away in those first 2 drives. Boom, boom, it's 14-0. And depending on who you ask, it should have been maybe 21-3 or 21-0 with the Jamar Chase touchdown that was overruled into an incomplete pass. It comes down to momentum and not getting too out front of yourself. You look at what the Jaguars did. They were there early. They got a 10-point deficit. They fought back, and they had 2 turnovers late that killed their comeback. If the Bengals can stay on stride, it's not a problem. They have the experience. They've done this before. It's just, can they do it the 4th time? They've beaten the Chiefs 3 times now. Would the Chiefs finally figure them out at home with the extra confidence, playing for Mahomes? The whole team probably stepping up their game. I'm going to actually take the Chiefs in this football game. I think the whole team is going to raise up their play level because their quarterback is dinged up. It's kind of like now, yeah, he's healthy. We can play maybe a little our B game and he'll be successful. With him down, I think they all elevate up and they find a way to squeak it out and get the Chiefs to the Super Bowl for a Chiefs Niners rematch like we had in Miami a couple of years ago. I think that's what you're going to see. The whole team is step up, and they're going to overcome the Bengals this time and move forward to another Super Bowl bid for Kansas City.
Yeah, they definitely put this game at 6:30 for a reason. This is the primetime game. There's going to be eyeballs galore on this game. Fresh, you know what I'm going to say. Let's go back in time to that 1998 Royal Rumble here. The final two men in the Royal Rumble, you know who it was? Well,
Mm-mm.
obviously you don't because you don't watch pro wrestling like I do. But it was Stone Cold Steve Austin
I do
and
know
The
who that
Rock.
is. I
And The
do know
Rock.
who that is.
So The Rock and Stone Cold wound up being the two biggest stars in professional wrestling for the next probably decade. And they're two iconic names. Everyone knows who they are. And that's what Burrows versus Mahomes is. This is Rock and Austin here. So if you are in the comments section here, if you think that the Chiefs are going to win, give me a hell yeah. If you think that Burrow and the Bengals are going to win, you better know you're rolling shut your mouth. So I'm going to tell you right here, this is Rock Austin. Now, the two things that are the difference maker in my end, and you saw it with Cincinnati against Buffalo here, is they got Joe Mixon going. And if Joe Mixon can kind of continue to lead that rushing attack where it's just not, hey, Joe, we're going to need you to throw the ball 40 times in a game. We're actually going to be able to have the other Joe run the ball and kind of move the chains a little bit, take the pressure off the passing game there. Jamar Chase is a matchup nightmare, just like Travis Kelce is. The two of them, it's going to be who can put the pressure on the defense as well in the passing game from that perspective. I love that this is for the second straight year. This is coming down to these two. I also love the fact that people are starting to doubt Kansas City, but at the same time too, I think a lot of people are saying, well, Joe Burrow and their win last year was a fluke win, and it really shouldn't have happened last year. And fresh again, like I said, we're taking a look at all of these things. Kansas City wasn't the same after Mahomes got hurt. Now they still won the football game. They have a lot of weapons now. Mahomes doesn't have to just rely on himself. And Travis Kelce played a hell of a game last weekend. Hell of a game. But again, like I said, 98 Royal Rumble won by Stone Cold Steve Austin and winds up going to WrestleMania, winning his first ever WWF Championship. In 1997, Fresh, who won the Royal Rumble?
I'm going to say The Rock.
No, it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. He won the second 2 years in a row. Now, I said that Kansas City is Stone Cold, but I'm going to flip this here. I'm going to say Cincinnati does it again. Everyone's doubting them and saying, well, you can't do it a fourth time. And Cincinnati's putting up a lot of talk there. I love this. I think the Mahomes injury, a high ankle sprain, those don't heal quickly. Anyone who's had a high ankle sprain, I don't know how these athletes play with them. They're brutal, but they have better medical treatment than 98% of us. So I'm sure if there's a will, there's a way. But give me Cincinnati. I'm going to take Cincinnati in what is going to perceive as an upset.